Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. Half of all small businesses are unlikely to hire back the workers they let go. This is some pretty sobering news. Individuals in travel, leisure, entertainment, and hospitality have lost their jobs, have been decimated as a result of this pandemic. Individuals who worked for years to escape the cycle of poverty that you see on your screen right now, who worked for decades to try and escape the cycle of poverty and get into the middle class, are now finding themselves back to the place where they were many years ago, because what the pandemic has done has reversed decades of progress internationally. Here's some new reporting on your screen. This is an article from Axios. You'll get a link to this article in the description section below. Half of small businesses are unlikely to hire back workers that they let go. Let's take a look at this chart on your screen that shows you the reduction in employment since the beginning of the pandemic by sector. You can start to see that the hospitality sector suffered the biggest setbacks, followed by manufacturing, utilities, construction, wholesale, and retail. In fact, according to some new reporting, and this was a survey done by Facebook, 22% of US businesses reported that they were closed in February of 2021. This was an increase from 16% in October 2020. In other words, 16% of businesses were closed in October of last year, and in February of this year, 22% of US businesses were closed. This was a Facebook survey of 35,000 small and medium-sized businesses. According to the Urban Institute's senior fellow, Brett Theodis, he told Axios, businesses have reduced their costs and payroll, which is horribly painful and could be really harmful to their business long term. And these could be dangerous signs of the economic recovery as the country does start to open, as states start to essentially create their own mandates overriding what the federal government is asking for, and as different states reopen at different rates. Folks, the unemployment rate is different across the country. And here's another important comment from the Axios article: the fact that 51% of global and US based small and medium sized businesses are not planning to rehire in the near future, which, by the way, it's really bad when you even think about it. The fact that they're not planning to rehire in the near future suggests lower levels of optimism about the economic recovery, even as vaccinations become more widespread and states begin to open up. Some states, like I mentioned, are doing better than others. On the other hand, some states are doing much worse than others. States with a high share of businesses with reduced staff, in other words, states with businesses that are not bringing people back, include New York, 38% of businesses, Illinois, 36%, Michigan, 36%, California, 33%, and Florida, 32%, as per the results of the survey from Facebook. Now, let's be clear, the Paycheck Protection Program and all the economic injury disaster loans, all of the money that was made available by the federal government to small businesses did help. But this doesn't mean that businesses are going to be like, oh, the states have opened, it's now raining money, let's hire people. Unfortunately, that is not what businesses are doing. If anything, in fact, businesses are now reevaluating their entire decision-making process when it comes to money. They're reevaluating employees, they're reevaluating the rent, and they're asking themselves, do I even need that much office space? And when it comes to hiring, people are like, do I actually need like 5 people? Can I make do with like 2 people? And this is the dangerous problem that is leading many small businesses to not hire back the employees that were let go as a direct result of the pandemic. And these employees who were let go, again, individuals in travel, leisure, entertainment, and hospitality, these individuals are now dependent on unemployment and dependent on stimulus checks, which now creates a bigger problem for the government because states are not equipped to help these individuals at a time like this, to an extent like this. So what's the bottom line here? And this is a quote from the Axios article. Even the businesses that manage to maintain operations thanks to the Paycheck Protection Program and emergency lender flexibility and loans and different kinds of forbearance programs, including forbearance on their commercial mortgages, even these businesses will, and this is important, will likely be conservative in hiring and spending for some time. In other words, before the pandemic, people were like, let's hire others, let's spend more money, let's get more office space, let's get better furniture, let's get newer computers, let's do more and more and more and more. But now, because of this horrific impact of this pandemic, even though we are starting to recover, the willingness the psychological ability to want to be able to spend more on hiring more employees is something that could take some time because employers are still recovering from the psychological and the economic scars of the pandemic. In fact, businesses are not the only ones facing economic scars. Here's another article on your screen, this time from Axios, that actually shows you the difference in spending patterns, or shall I say saving patterns, with the most recent, the third stimulus check of $1,400. This is extremely surprising because this shows you the change in patterns of US consumers. US consumers are now starting to save more money with the third stimulus check, and most people were actually spending the money with the first two stimulus checks. So let's take a look at this article from Axios, how US households used their stimulus checks. Now, these were 3 surveys of US households who received or expected to receive stimulus checks. This essentially gives us data on people who received the first stimulus check, the second stimulus check, and the third stimulus check. Take a look at round 1. The first stimulus check was primarily spent. The second stimulus check was primarily used to pay off debt. And the third stimulus check was saved. A majority of the third stimulus check was saved. Now, could this be because money went to those who didn't need it? Yeah, it could be. But could this also be because of the emotional and the psychological scarring associated with this pandemic that makes you go, whoa, I've got money. If I can, I need to save it. Folks, in the beginning, people needed money to put food on the table, to make rent, to be able to keep the lights on. And many millions of our fellow Americans still do. But I'm talking about the shift in behavior from what is absolutely necessary, from your absolute necessities, to maybe a shift in priorities to, hey, maybe, just maybe, I need to prepare for the next pandemic. I need to prepare for the next natural disaster. And therefore, I need to save more money instead of spend more money, which is exactly what is happening with consumers as well. Now, could this high level of savings lead to more spending during the rest of 2021? Absolutely. But the fact is, we don't know. We can expect an economic boom, but what if people simply say, I'm just going to wait and watch. I'm not going to spend money. Well, according to this reporting from Axios, a word of caution for those expecting an immediate spending boom. There's a great deal of uncertainty about the pace of the spending increase and the extent of the pent-up demand. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section below. Do you believe that there are local businesses who will simply reopen but with less employees? Do you think local businesses are likely to try and make do with a smaller workforce as opposed to bringing back their entire workforce? I believe the odds are that that will indeed happen, because I've started to notice as I start to step out a bit more that businesses have started hiring, but I'm noticing that most businesses seem to be understaffed. Not because they can't find people, but because they choose not to hire everyone back because they are taking a wait and see approach. In other words, they are trying to wait and see if consumers will come back, if people will come out and spend again. Because at the end of the day, I assure you, if people step out and start spending money again on travel, on entertainment, on leisure, on hospitality, on hotels, restaurants, then those businesses will go ahead and hire back the individuals that they let go. This is essentially a circular effect. This is a chain reaction that takes place in the economy when consumers feel comfortable and start spending. And one day we will feel comfortable and start spending again. And I believe that day is approaching rapidly. But there is a lot of uncertainty to get there, which is exactly why I believe businesses are taking a wait and see approach, and consumers are also taking a wait and see approach in case we get hit hard again. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. I hope you learned something new from this video. If you did, please click the like button, please subscribe, please enable notifications. If you do that, I promise you, that means a lot to me. That really helps out the YouTube algorithm. Every time we get a new subscriber, it motivates me and my team to work harder for you. I promise to bring you the truth wherever it might lead us. Thank you so much for watching. Again, please click the like button, please subscribe, please enable notifications. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.